Ya kundendu tushara hala devalaha ya shubrabastra vetam. Ya vina valadanda mandita kalaha ya shveta padmasana. Ya brahma shuta shankara pehibiti bihi devai sada pujita. Samam patu saraswati bhagavate nishesha japaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, bow your head, offer your practice today to a place in nature that inspires you. Bring that holy place into your mind's eye, dedicate your practice to that place. Namaste. Welcome, everyone. Could we turn the infrareds off, please? Switch. Everybody warm enough, yeah? Good, good. Okay, so we continue with our reading from Namarupa magazine about Srivatsa Ramaswami's studies with his guru, Krishnamacharya. And this will be the last part that I will read from this. So this is the period where Ramaswamy starts to actually teach his first sort of group of students. He's been studying with Krishnamacharya for 20 years at this point. So I think he's done his teacher training. And he has been teaching bits and pieces here and there, but this is the first time he really seriously gets into teaching. And the reason is that Krishnamacharya was by the local performing arts college to teach yoga there, because he's teaching in other places in that area again, like he was in Mysore. And Krishnamacharya is either too busy or he doesn't fancy it. So he asked Ramaswamy to teach it. And so Ramaswamy starts teaching in the college, and this is what he has to say about it. After 20 years of studying with my guru, I was teaching at Kalakshetra, a well-known Indian arts college, teaching South Indian dance and Carnatic music, boutique painting, dance and drama, etc. Does anybody know what boutique painting is? Yeah. Sorry? Oh, okay. Okay. So it's sort of like design. That would make sense, yes. Okay, because that would sort of fit in with the Indian culture, with the things of yantras and all the designs that they make in cloth and material and stuff. Okay, interesting. The students were young, in their teens and early 20s. They were highly talented and a challenging group to teach. Each student was required to study yoga twice a week for 2 years. So yes, a group of people who are required to study yoga is quite different to a group of people who have volunteered to study yoga. But at the same time, they're obviously young, they're studying dance and the performing arts, so they will, it all fits. It's a good fit. In about 6 months, I realized that I had taught them virtually everything I had learned, some 200 to 300 vinyasas and several breathing exercises, which is still a hell of a repertoire for a yoga teacher. I turned to my teacher and explained my predicament to him. Is there anything more I can teach? I had read his book, Yoga Makaranda, and I had read in his book, Yoga Makaranda, that he had learned about 700 vinyasas from his teacher in the Himalayas. With infectious enthusiasm, he started to teach me more vinyasas and asanas. Have you taught this asana? Have you taught this vinyasa? He would ask. Over a long period thereafter, he taught me more and more vinyasas. I would practice them and go and teach them to the class. It was a wonderful way to learn and teach at the same time. In the course of the next few years, about 700 vinyasas in about 10 major sequences. This formed the basis of my teaching of Vinyasa Krama. Okay, so this is what we're studying, exactly this, as taught to Krishnamacharya, to Ramaswami, by his teacher, Ramaswami. And this is the way I learned the practice from Ramaswami. 1, on your feet, asanas. All the hasta vinyasas that we do at the beginning, the forward folds that we do. We're using sections of each of these vinyasas every time we practice. And you can see in this particular series, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's probably about 50 different asanas in different sequences which flow one into the other. That's the vinyasa. And then the second one is asymmetric seated sequence, which is postures where you have one leg bent and one leg straight, and a whole variety of them in all the different poses. So, for example, you've learned that if you're doing Janu Sirsasana, single-legged forward bend, it's not an isolated pose. It's done with a series of vinyasas. So that might be the starting point for the pose. And then you come up and you twist to the left and you fold inside the leg, Parivrtta Janu Sirsasana. That's the second vinyasa. And then you come up and you can twist to the right. That's the third vinyasa. And then you come up and you bring the leg to the outside of the foot and you do a twist. That's the fifth vinyasa. And then you bring your foot down and you do pratikriya, which is, so every series of vinyasas always has a counter pose. That's called a pratikriya. So that would be either what we call tabletop or inclined plane. So these vinyasas are very structured. There's a way of doing them where you don't necessarily, when you learn it from Ramaswami, you're in each session that he teaches you, you do the whole sequence. So sometimes you spend a whole day just on standing postures, a whole day just on headstand, a whole day on lotus postures, so you can learn the sequences. And then when you can learn the sequences, you can pick and choose from the sequences to make a kind of class, make a practice for yourself. This is the idea. You learn the scales, and then you learn to play the music. And you learn to play it in a way that is relative to you. In other words, you make your own practice, your own tune. But you have to learn to play the scales. I think it's a good way to do it. And as a teacher, that's my role. I need to learn the scales so that I can share the practice with you. So it is within certain parameters. It's not just like anything goes. And then the third one is seated posterior stretch, which is with both legs straight, and all the vinyasas connected with that. The third one is standing on one leg sequence. So there's a whole big sequence of postures all standing on one leg, balancing. The fifth one is supine on the back, all the variations of yoga poses that you can do laying on your back. Very good for the hips. And that goes straight into the supine sequence, also includes shoulder stand. And in shoulder stand, there are about 20 different variations. Then, and all that in between, there's all these sort of linking vinyasas that he gives you. Then there's the bow pose sequence, which is all back. The next is the triangle pose sequence, which is all the postures which are done with the feet apart, standing. Not just triangle pose, but all the other standing postures can all be done in one seamless sequence. Doesn't have to be like 1 or 2 standing poses, then do something else. You can spend a whole practice just doing standing poses. And it finishes with seated splits. You okay? Everybody's looking out the door. Sorry? No, it's water going into the water butt. Yes. Yeah, it's the rain, yeah, coming off the puja hall. I can say that now because I've nearly built it. And then the inverted posture sequence is all headstand. So there's about 25 variations of headstand. Then meditative pose sequence, which is, we're doing a little bit of that in this class at the moment, which is all kneeling. So it's all Vajrasana and Virasana variations, kneeling posture variations, which are preparation for meditation. Then there's a whole section on lotus pose, which is a whole series of vinyasas on that. And then there is all the different types of sun salutations and connected vinyasas. That is Vinyasa Krama. So it's great in a way because there's so much to learn. You know what I'm saying? It's like, not like, oh, you learn a few postures and then you know the practice. It's like a thing that takes years to learn. And if you study it, you will develop this kind of repertoire in your practice that you would never be bored. You would never not know what to do to help yourself or to help someone else. And so you can always find a way of making the practice inspiring and interesting, and you can use it to keep yourself whole, physically and mentally, because it also comes with all the pranayamas, which are for your emotions and your mind, and stabilizing and balancing your pranic body, and also the meditation. So it's like complete, it's a complete science, a complete art form in itself. This is the beauty. And really all yoga should be like this. And I'm not saying there isn't other yoga like this, but what I'm saying is a lot of yoga, as it has been modernized, and also the movement to the West, which also now feeds back to India, a lot has been lost in translation. And so we have to bear in mind that when we're doing yoga, what is yoga actually for? It's got quite distorted, and yoga there's only one goal in yoga. There's only one thing that you do yoga for, and that's moksha, which is liberation, freedom of mind, body, and spirit, freedom of your energy so that it can heal and so it can raise your consciousness to higher levels of perception. Some teachers would just say, realization of the true self so that you can become one with the supreme self. You can put it in lots of different ways, but that's the only reason to do yoga. And all these things are supports to that goal. And asana is a really essential part of that system. If you can learn to control your breath doing the asana, if you can learn to make your body healthy and break down the energy blockages in your body so that when you practice yoga, you feel light, sthira sukham asanam, comfortable and joyful, then you'll be able to sit and meditate. And the goal of yoga will be closer to you. But if you can't bring about that kind of balance in your pranic body, your energy body, through regular practice of yoga, asana, you will find it virtually impossible to meditate effectively for any length of time. Because your mind is also prana. It's not separate from your physical body. So when you bring the prana under control and you break down the blockages in your body that are restricting the flow of prana in your body, you also free your mind. You do that with your breath, you do it with vinyasa, you do it with focusing your mind with attentiveness on what you're doing. It's really, the principle is really quite simple. The difficult thing is doing it regularly. If you can get that into your life, then yoga, you can transform your whole life. Although, that's exactly what he would say. That's what he does say. There's an interesting thing. So I'm just going to read one more little bit because I want you to, I'm trying to put this into context for you about how this thing that Krishnamacharya did, it manifested very differently in different teachers that he taught. And some of them became super world famous. BKS Iyengar, Sri K. Pattabhi Jois, TVK Desikachar, Indra Devi. They're sort of like, and all the people that they taught, they're the most famous teachers in the world now, those people. Vinyasa Krama is virtually unknown. Would you agree? You know, you don't go on the internet and you don't go on Instagram and see loads of stuff about Vinyasa Krama. It's just not there. Why is it not there? That's a good question. I can tell you why it's not there, but that's another talk. So what are the essentials of Vinyasa Krama that I teach based on the teachings of my guru? 1, do asanas with a number of vinyasas or variations in succession. It is the art form of yoga practice. Vinyasa means art. Remember that. And it involves ascetic variations within the specified parameters. Okay, you get it. You're bright people. The basic parameters used in Vinyasa Krama are steadiness in the posture, a calm mind, synchronizing the breath with slow movements of the limbs, and while in the postures, having the mind closely following the breath. Now that is the definition of all of yoga. But in Vinyasa Krama, there are things that are different. You've noticed we do different types of breathing. We gaze at different parts of the body. Some of the practice is done with the eyes open, some of it's done with the eyes closed. Bandhas aren't separated into pranayama. Bandhas are included in the asana practice. So when you're doing the asana, you're also doing the pranayama. When you're doing the asana, you're also doing the mudras because you're doing the bandhas. When you're doing the asanas, you're also doing the meditation in that you're fixing your mind and gazing at certain points of the body. That's called tratak. When you're doing the asana, you're also, there was another thing, I can't remember what it is. Okay, you get the idea. It's gone. It will come to me in a minute. So what I want in this book, this is a book called My Search for Yoga. And it's by a teacher called David Williams. Have any of you heard of him? Okay. What do you do all day, you people? Don't you? Not looking up yoga on the internet, are you? So anyway, so you know, if you put that word yoga in the internet, you know what happens? Mayhem ensues. So this person, David Williams, he's a great guy. He's a Texan, got a real great sense of humor and just a lovely, lovely guy. No, there was one Dutch guy who was there a little bit before him, but he was the first Westerner to study with Sri K. Pattabhi Jois in Mysore, the Ashtanga style of yoga. And he took David Williams, Doug Williams, all the other big named Ashtanga yoga teachers who have spread Vinyasa yoga, all the Vinyasa yoga that goes on in the West, in all the studios, all the gyms, all the clubs, everywhere, all came from this guy and his studies with Krishnamacharya, because he gathered together in America at that time and brought together all the people who initially studied with Sri K. Pattabhi Jois. And then he took Sri K. Pattabhi Jois to America, and then it went bang. Ashtanga yoga style was massive. And out of that grew all the Vinyasa yoga that everybody's doing now. Yeah, so this is the first guy. This is his book, which is a self-published book, which he finished about a couple of years ago, which you can only buy from him. This book cost me £120. And so no, you can't borrow it. And it's just his own self-published book, and it's fascinating. And I knew why I needed it, why I wanted it, because in here, he talks about the way Sri K. Pattabhi Jois taught Ashtanga yoga in the early days in Mysore and the old Shala, before it got really popular. When he was there, there's just 3 or 4 people, up to 8 people studying with Pattabhi Jois. In the end, there was like 200 people every morning studying with Pattabhi, waiting in shifts to be taught. And what he taught is very close to what we do. He talks in here, he says, Pattabhi Jois, there was all unequal breathing in the practice. Most of the practice was done with the eyes closed. The practice was taught with bandhas, etc., etc. You get the message. So he was teaching originally Sri Pattabhi Jois in this manner in which Krishnamacharya taught him. And then as it got more popular, and as it got bigger, and as the groups got more interested in, it's a very dynamic form, Ashtanga style, it's like you've got to have a certain amount of physical ability to do it, it became predominantly asana-based practice, and hardly anybody was ever taught pranayama. In the beginning, they were all taught pranayama. And that is what happened then when that was transferred into a Western context, that became the modern yoga. But I would say most of the juice was taken out. And what this does is it puts the art form back in it. It takes it back to its origins. And I sort of feel that that's what modern yoga needs. I mean, that's just my opinion. And I'm just a little yoga teacher in a little yoga studio. I can't do that in the world, but I hope someone can. And what you'll find about a lot of these original teachers and the early people who adapted this Vinyasa style, as they've got older, and the ones who are still teaching, they're really mellowed. And they're really teaching now in a very different way. They're going back to teaching more in a way that they were originally taught in Mysore. So that may be interesting to you. It may be completely relevant to you, but it's something I feel is important to share, because I think context about your practice is really important. My guru, Sri Krishnamacharya, was like a many-faceted diamond, each side brilliant in its way. Different individuals saw different sides of him in different ways and took whatever appealed to him or to her. I was fascinated by whatever he thought I should know and therefore taught me. And I found that in asana practice, the Vinyasa Krama method was most beneficial and satisfying. I am sure that a few others will also find it satisfying. With his deep scholarship, immense wisdom, and abundant compassion, Sri Krishnamacharya reveled in making the ancient benevolent teachings accessible to ordinary mortals like you and me. Here endeth the lesson. And I think there's a kind of little hint there as to why Vinyasa Krama isn't big. It's like that is as close as I've ever heard Ramaswamy get to self-promotion. Other people might also enjoy this practice. He's not someone who is interested in promoting himself, or he's not a person with an ego. And when you study with him, the first thing he'll say is, I don't know anything. All I'm doing is I am telling you, teaching you the practice exactly as my teacher, Krishnamacharya, taught it to me. And it's almost like Ramaswamy gets out of the way. He disappears almost. And he just talks with he just talks like he was talked to by Krishnamacharya. And he teaches you exactly the same way. And if you ask him a question like, why do you think there's a difference between the way you're teaching it and the way BKSN teach it and the way blah, blah, and people ask him all these kind of like modern kind of idea questions that we have because of our minds. And he said, all he'll say is, Krishnamacharya was my only teacher. I don't know anything about anybody else or other yoga. There's something pure and important about that. Namaste. Come to the mat, stand into Asana. Chest up, chin down, look hard. Ujjayi breathing. Default position. Begin even inhale, even exhale. A little bit of constriction at the base of the throat. And that Ujjayi sound shouldn't be harsh or coarse. It should be smooth. It's a pratyahara technique, a technique for withdrawing the mind into the sound of the breath. Shouldn't involve effort. Inhale, raise the arms overhead and flip your palms. Lift out of your hips, chin down, look into your heart. All this can be done with the eyes closed. If you're comfortable, exhale, lower the arms with the breath. Inhale, widen overhead. Lift up and pause. As you exhale, bring the thumbs to the back of your neck. Palms up, elbows wide. Keep exhaling till you're empty. Bandhas, chin, sternum, perineum lifts, lower abdomen and up, Mahabandha. Release bandhas. Inhale, hands to the ceiling. Exhale, widen down. Inhale up. Lift your palms. Pause. Chin down. Exhale, thumbs back of the neck. Bring your elbows back so it opens your chest. Completely empty your lungs, bandhas. Release bandhas. Inhale, hands to widen up. Side stretch. Exhale, go over to the right, move the hips back. Inhale, center. At the horizon line, Taraka. And then inhale, when you come to the center, bring the chin down, look into your heart. And then exhale to the right, slightly up and down. I'm going to stay for a short inhale and a long exhale. Keep pressing down on the inseams of your feet. Inhale to the center. Change sides. Short inhale, long exhale. And inhale to the center. And exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, widen overhead, flip your palms. Twisting. Exhale, twist to the right. Arch back, look. The chin down. Exhale to the left. Fully exhale. Hold the breath out. Look. The whole body. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right, same thing. And keep your feet parallel, Leela. And then the other side. Done, we'll meet in Tadasana. And then inhale, arms widen overhead, Uttanasana, Vinyasas. Chin on the chest, look into the navel, move the hips back, 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 back. Make a number 7, fold halfway. Too much for your back, put the prayer over your heart. Inhale, come up, arch back a little bit at the top. Exhale, fold halfway. Hips back. The chest. Good. Inhale. Legs, inhale, come up. Exhale, fold all the way, Uttanasana. Take the big toes or the legs, whatever you can reach. And then inhale with your eyes closed. Look up and roll your eyes up and look to your third eye with your eyes closed. And then exhale, round the back and fold. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale, long. Pause. Inhale. Exhale, long. Hold the breath out. Lift the palms, hips back, tummy in, chin down, inhale up. Arch back at the top with the chin down. And exhale, Tadasana. And the Parivrtta Uttanasana, revolved Uttanasana. Inhale, arms widen overhead, flip your palms. Exhale, twist to the right again. Short inhale, arch back. Side of the right leg. Bring the hands to the outside of the leg or push the palm. And we're going to stay here. Short inhale, long exhale. So the same pattern in the breath. Neck relaxed. Keep grounded through the inseam of your right foot. Get your hands on the floor. Keep them for this variation. Yeah. And then inhale, come up. Turn to the left. As much rotation as you can. Little inhale, arch back a little bit. And then exhale all the way. Be grounded on the inside. Free breath. Move a bit to the right. Keep your neck relaxed. The eyes need to be open. Gaze navel if they can be closed. When you've done your 3 breaths, make your way up. We meet in Tadasana. And so that's all what we've done so far is from the on your feet, it's called Tadasana sequence of vinyasas. Surya Namaskars on salutation. Come towards the front of your mat, stand in Tadasana, inhale. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Om Mitri Namaha. Inhale. Pause. Om Ravi Namaha. Exhale. Om Sri Namaha. What down? Namaha. Om Kage Namaha. Full prostration. Chaturanga. Fully exhale. Om Hiranyakabe Namaha. Up dog. Hold the breath in. Om Mariche Namaha. Back. Fully to the lungs. Pause. Om Adiche Namaha. Hop forward. Savitre Namaha. Om Make Namaha. Om Bhaskare Namaha. Tadasana. Inhale. Just with mantra this time. Exhale. Om Mitre Namaha. Om Ravi Namaha. Om Sari Namaha. Om Banave Namaha. Om Kage Namaha. Om Pushni Namaha. Om Ve Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Adiche Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Make Namaha. Hands over the heart. Om Bhaskare Namaha. Tadasana. Turn to the right, stand in Tadasana. Now hop or step feet. 2, right foot. Exhale, look at the front knee, bend it through the center of the foot. Your foot around a little bit more so it's in line with your knee. Inhale, come up, switch the feet. Exhale over the left. Keep the back body strong. Inhale, come up. Exhale, right. And by activating the back. Naturally turn your back foot in a bit. And then inhale, both hands to the floor. Exhale, drop the back knee down. Inhale, lift both arms up. Hands in prayer. Fully exhale, twist to the right, elbows doesn't go. Bring the left hand down inside the foot, top hand on the back. Inhale, turn the back foot under, straighten the back. Twist. 3. And keep the your lower abdomen controlled. Inhale, both hands. Inhale, come up, Trikonasana Sthiti, both feet 30 degrees. Exhale, left foot out, right foot in, bend front knee. Hold and breathe. And inhale, both hands to the floor. Exhale, drop the back knee down. Inhale, float up, both arms. Long exhale, prayer to the heart, get the lungs empty and then twist. Turn the back toe under, inhale, straighten the back leg. 3 breaths, short inhales, long exhales. Straight line for your forearms here. So the pressure through the hands deepens the twist. So that would be down. Back heel down, inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to the waist, feet 30 degrees. Inhale, open the chest, arch back, look up. Shoulder blades, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arch back, squeeze the shoulder blades, elbows back, hands on the hips, keep the hands on the hips. And exhale, fold all the way. Good, keep the hands on the hips, Niralamba, unsupported. And then look nose tip or close the eyes, navel, inhale. Exhale long. Relax your neck. Ujjayi breathing. You got to let your upper body and head hang heavy like a conch on a string. Keep drawing your lower abdomen in at the end of each breath to deepen the pose. The bandhas help. And then on the inhale, soften your knees if you need to. Oh, head back, open the heart. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Good. And exhale, Trikonasana. All right. And hop or step your feet together. And inhale. And exhale, lower your arms. Turn to face the front, standing Tadasana. So I have mastered the art of catching normal flies, which are quick, but catching a slow fly is like super difficult. Okay. You'll see that Clint Eastwood film where he catches the flies and the bar. No? Oh, another day. Story for another day. Okay, and then inhale, arms widen overhead, lift your palms. Exhale, palms face forward. Inhale, arch from the upper back. And exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, short breath. Exhale, oops. Hop back. The knees can be struggling with your breath. It's got to be easy. Down, drag the heart forward, and exhale, downward facing dog. And take 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale long. The end of the exhale, chin on the chest, perineum lifts, lower arm. Exhale fully. Hold breath out. Banders. Chin down towards your chest as much as you can. Stretch your neck. And inhale. Asana. More air out of the lungs. Make the exhale really full. Sit down, Dandasana. Inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, don't move. Inhale, roll down onto your back. Exhale, hands beside your hips. It helps teach you the different place points in the body, which are called Mamastana. And that means, it means sacred place. Mama is a point and Stana is a place which is secret or holy. So they're like little shrines in the body. In your face. So you have to do it when you keep the tongue from skull. So it's like you're creating in your mouth. And let's do it. Okay, inhale, arms over the head, flip your palms. And then flex your feet and draw your lower back down. And exhale fully. Arms over your head. Keep your arms over your head on the floor. Good. Now just do another breath. Inhale there. Normal. And exhale to your empty and look down at your big toes internally with your eyes closed and flicking your gaze. Slow J inhale, look big toes and tops of thigh. Heart, soft palate, nose tip, third eye, crown of head. Roll the eyes up and look out through the top of your head. And then look navel and fully exhale. Draw the prana down into nabi navel. Keep exhaling until you're completely empty. Hold the breath out. Draw the lower back down. Suck the abdomen in and up. Relax the mouth. Release the upper palate to relax the eyes. Hold. Release banders. Inhale, bring the hands up over your face with the arms straight. Flicking the internal gaze. Slow J, inhale. Ankles, knees, tops of thighs, perineum, heart, throat pit, soft palate, nose tip, third eye, crown of head. Pause. Look nabi navel, fully exhale. Flex your feet, draw your lower back down, three-pond mudra. Ubhaya Kumbhaka, external retention. And then we meet in Suptasana, feet together, hands beside the hips. Switch off with J and relax. Inhale, arms over the head, flip your palms. Exhale, bend both knees and squeeze the knees down. Knees down. And exhale. No, knees down towards your chest. This is Asana. There's two variations. First one, you keep the head on the floor, and then you do other variations where you bring the chin, the nose, and the forehead to the knees. So let's do that one. So inhale. And then as you exhale, empty your lungs, and bring your chin towards your knees. Stretch out your back. And then as you inhale, bring the head down, release. Just feet all the way to the floor. And then hold the breath out, the knees. Those apana means compression. And then inhale, a little bit, so release pressure. And then fully exhale. Right at the end of the breath, squeeze the knees in and lift the forehead to the knees and hold. Bandhas. When you're ready, release the knees a bit, bring the head down, cross the ankles, hold the feet. Inhale, rock up, exhale, rock back. 3 times. 4, extend both legs. Good. Exhale. Come forward into plank pose. Exhale, knees down, chest down, chin down, hips high, navel in. Inhale forward to cobra. Exhale, seat to heels, long back, down dog. Completely empty your lungs. Soften your knees. Hop onto your shins, toes pointed. Vajrasana. Bring the hands to the tops of the knees. Separate your feet just a tiny bit, just like an inch. And then you can have an option here. You can try, and if this doesn't work for you, you're going to bring your hands back to your knees. Inhale, bring your arms wide and over your head and flip your palms. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down behind you and cross your wrists, palms facing outwards. First two fingers take the big toes. If you can't reach, then put your hands back on your knees. Inhale, lift your chest up. Your eyes, exhale, bring your chin down, look into your heart. The arms to lift the heart. So you're going for it, sorry. Okay, so if you can't get your toes, put your hands here like this. When you've done your 3 breaths, on the next inhale, switch the gaze to the third eye and bring your head back as far as you can, Jalandhara Bandha backwards, so you're compressing the nerves in the back of the neck. Looking up, Brahmaja, third eye, drawing a prana from the heart into the center of the forehead. 3 breaths. When you've done your 3 breaths, come back to vertical and inhale, raise the arms over your head, flip your palms, separate your palms and exhale, fold forward. And then do that one more time. Inhale, come up, flip the palms, arch back a bit at the top, and exhale, go down, and just rest there for a bit. Get full breath length. Palm. Exhale, put your hands down just in front of your knees. Rock forward into your hands. Pick up your knees and your feet, jump back to Chaturanga. And then inhale, upward facing dog with the chin down. And exhale, downward facing dog with the chin down. Empty your lungs. Full step. Utkatasana. Inhale, straighten your legs. And exhale, fold into the legs. Flip your palms, inhale, come up, arch back at the top. Chin down. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale. Exhale, Utkatasana, separate the knees. Sit down, Dandasana. Hands beside the hips. So we're going to do a spinal twist. So if you're going to do Bharadvajasana, the one with one foot bent back and the other one with the foot to the inner thigh, which we've worked on, then if you're going to do, just start by bending your left knee and bringing the left foot outside the hip with the sole of the foot up. And if you need to, prop your right buttock. If you know that's not the posture for you, it's too much for you, then just stay still for the moment. And make sure if your pelvis is tilted that you've got something under your right hip. Choose your poison, as they say. Okay. And then everybody inhale, bend the right knee. Bring the knee out and the foot to the inner thigh, or the foot to half lotus. And if you're going for half lotus, bring the knees as close together as you can get them. And then inhale, bring the arms over your head and flip your palms. And exhale, slowly fold forward with strong ujjayi in the space between the knees. You don't need to go straight forward. Go sort of like in the center of the space between the knees. Which will vary on how wide your knees are. And then flip your palms and inhale, come up. And exhale, twist to the right. Sweep the back top hand, right hand round behind you and hold your lotus foot, or bring it towards your thigh, or bring it on the floor behind you. Bring your left hand across and hold the outside of your right knee. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, twist and look over your right shoulder. And then keep the twist, but inhale, look over your left shoulder at your left knee. 3 breaths. You can do it. You don't need to get the whole hand down. Okay. No, look there. And twist that way. Your body. Yeah. And then exhale, fold in between the legs again. And then inhale, come up. And carefully release the legs. Dandasana. And then inhale, bend the right knee. And if you're doing the full posture, bring the foot back outside the hip. Try remember to roll that calf flesh to the outside to give you a little bit more space in your knee. Sit on a block on your left hip if you need it. Everybody bend the right knee in. Take the same variations you did on the other side. And exhale, fold forward. Yes. In lotus, the knees need to be close together. And inhale, come up. And left. Variations you did. Heads on a ball there. The gaze at the right knee. Rise and the foot in the side. The inhales are short and long. And at the end of the exhale, there's a pause in which your mind drops, and you can deepen the pose if there's space. So you want to find that pause at the end of your breath. And I find in that pause, you can feel the spiral in your spine. It's very beautiful. Moves the prana in the spine and activates the spinal nerves. Down, looking slightly angled. The head counter, fold forward between the knees. Good. Inhale, come up. Exhale, Dandasana. Inhale, bend both knees to the chest, Baddha Konasana, cobbler pose. If you need a block, sit on a block. Bring both hands behind you if you can with your fingers facing forward. Squeeze your shoulder blades and puff your chest out. Knees wide, Baddha Konasana. Knees wide, soles of the feet together. And then keep your body as upright as you can. Don't make it into, don't lean back. Try to keep your shoulders up over your hips. Bring your chin down, look into your heart. Push down into your hands and push the soles of the feet together to push the knees out of the hips. And just breathe there for a few breaths. Close your eyes. Look perineum. The variation of Baddha Konasana doesn't involve holding the feet. And then inhale, bring your arms and float them over your head and flip your palms. And separate your palms and exhale, fold forward. Put your hands on the floor, round your back. Let your head go heavy. Keep looking perineum, eyes closed. Ujjayi, breathe. And then when you're ready, inhale, flip the palms and come up. Exhale, Dandasana. Inhale. Exhale, come onto your back and relax in Shavasana. Can you still feel the heat coming in? Mm. Make yourself comfortable, roll your head if you need to. And come back to center. Let go of Ujjayi. Rest your awareness in the center of your chest, just in front of your spine. And just watch as the breath begins there and the breath returns. Try to find that space called the pranasthana, seat of prana, where the breath begins and where the breath goes back to. And just keep your awareness there. Let your body do the breathing. Om. Your feet together and your arms by your sides. Inhale, arms over your head. left side long, right side long. And then both sides long. Bend the knees, hug the knees into your chest. Make your way into a seated position for pranayama and meditation. You've got your mala on it. Wrap your mala around your wrist or have it close by so you're ready for meditation. Anybody want me to just explain how to use the mala? Are you familiar with it? Yeah, you familiar? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you hold it with the tassel at the top, which is the meru, and you drape it over your middle finger of your right hand, and you cup it in your left hand at navel level, and then you draw the mala towards your heart with your thumb. So the inhale, you roll the bead, exhale. I'll explain it to you, the rest of it. We're going to begin. So a good thing to do if you're kind of like, if you know you're going to pick up your mala and continue after your pranayama with meditation, is to just wrap it a few times around your wrist so it's really ready, or have it over your neck so that when you want to make the transition from your pranayama to your meditation as seamless as possible. And so the mala wants to be there. You can do it ideally without having to open your eyes. So you don't want to be sort of like, where's it? Finding your mala. Have it so you can find it. But we're going to start with 3 rounds of Kapalabhati, so you have to put your mala somewhere. We're going to do just 2 rounds. Inhale, arms over the head, flip your palms. Lift your chest up. Inhale, bring your chin down, look into your navel. Exhale fully, keeping the chest lifted. Short inhale. Hex, 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 hex. Exhale completely. Inhale, push your hands to the ceiling. Exhale, widen down. Okay. Another little word with me at the end because that's not right. Okay. Yeah, we'll look at it together. And then just do deep breathing with the hand position. So inhale, arms widen over the head. Lift your palms. Exhale, bring the hands to the opposite shoulder blade. Count. Eyes closed, look navel. Move the action. And down. Wants to be forceful. Yeah, techniques, right? Just so you're better off at the moment, keeping your hand. Yeah? An extra set of muscles. Yeah. In your right hand. Close your eyes and come into your natural breathing. Relax your forehead, release the upper palate, relax your eyes. And relax the soft palate and the tongue. Jaw, relax the throat. And then relax the heart. And relax the shoulders. Lengthen your spine. Balance your head so it feels weightless. And then tune into your natural breath. And just begin to follow the natural breath. As the breath comes in, roll a bead. As the breath goes out, roll a bead. Synchronize the natural breathing, the rolling of the mala with your natural breathing. So the breath is the guiding principle here. Nothing changes breath. You have the option now of staying with your awareness in the heart, or drawing the prana up and resting it in your third eye, in the center of your skull. You choose. And then just hold your awareness there and continue with the breath and the mala. And then you just want to feel that the mantra Om, or your personal mantra, manifests in your natural breath. Try not to say the mantra to yourself, which is a thing of the mind, but allow the mantra to manifest from within your body and breath. It's already there, you just need to become aware of it. You just need to listen. It's okay when your mind drifts. It's part of the process of meditation. And you just very gently let go of the thought without judgment or any censorship. And return your mind to the process, to the holy object of meditation. It doesn't matter how often you need to do that. You just keep calm. A deep sense of compassion for yourself. and continue with the process of meditation. And then let go of your mantra. Release the mala and cup in your hand.